It's a mini camcorder, so I am now recording. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello, Joe.
Hello, Joe.
What's today's date? May...
My hair's a
22nd
mess.
or
and I'm
21st?
22nd.
Your hair's a mess?
My hair's a mess. I'm not dressed like a hag.
Well,
22nd.
this is for generations to come. They get to see you looking like a hag.
22nd.
I mean, this is the way we see you most of the
I'm a
time.
little bit 90 years old.
You look fine.
It's 27th, 2016.
22nd.
22nd. All right. Not sure where we got started, but I don't think it matters. So,
Go wherever you want.
let's go, what did your father do to earn a living?
Well, at the end, he retired from Kaufman's parking garage. He parked cars.
Did he do that your whole life?
No, he did, and yeah, he had part-time parking jobs. When I first remember, he parked cars down where the Hilton is, down Gateway Center.
Did,
So he parked cars down there.
did he ever try to get you to park cars?
No, he never did. I did though. He did get me summer jobs, cleaning and painting the Kaufman's garages.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Did that pay good?
It was yeah. Well, they paid us in cash. It was mostly like the girders and stuff. We painted all the steel. The girders that went across and down, and we'd have to scrape them. Me and Joe Marino's son, we used to do it at night, like
Was this when you were in high school?
I was in college too. We'd work a weekend and do like a floor.
And was that like an hourly rate they give you?
No.
No, just whatever.
Yeah, I did it with Joe Marino was in charge. She was my dad's boss.
Did you ever visit Grandpa at work?
All the time.
To get money, to get food, or to hang out?
Not necessarily to get money or food, but my dad liked to go to the track.
No.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'd come even from high school, from college, and he'd be tired. He'd want me to drive him, so we'd leave right from Kaufman's. Kaufman's downtown. We'd leave right from Kaufman's and go straight to Waterford Park, and I'd drive, and he'd sleep.
And this was to see the races at night?
Right, they ran at night.
Okay.
They started about 7:30. He got off work at 5:30. It was an hour drive. Stop, get something to eat, cup of coffee. And
Why Waterford? Was the Meadows not
there
open
was
yet?
nothing else at the time, Celeste.
And where was Waterford?
In
West Virginia.
Weirton. Yeah.
So you were driving an hour down there?
Yeah, and then an hour back. Sometimes I'd do that too. He'd call me sometimes, for Christ's sake. He'd call me, he says, come and get me. Okay. Sometimes I'd go down, if in college, sometimes, if I went when he was still there, I'd take the streetcar. You could take a streetcar from Oakland to downtown and then ride home with him. I would do that.
Do you remember your first time going to the track with him?
Yes, absolutely.
How old were
We
you?
went with me, him,
Tate.
Uncle Guy. No, Tate.
Tate came later.
Tate was Guy's era. Daddy didn't go with Tate not very often when I went with him. When I was younger. Me, Daddy, Uncle Guy, and Pascal. And Uncle Guy asked me and Pascal for a horse in the first race and in the second race. And we hit the daily double. I think I hit the first race, Pascal hit the second race. We didn't even know what we were doing. We just asked each.
Right, you either gave them a name or a number, right.
Yeah, they just have them, them little programs.
Yeah.
We just gave, oh yeah, this horse sounds good, And
Did he give you the money?
Well, it paid like $260 or $270. I think he gave us each a 20.
Probably a lot of money back then.
Yeah, for that.
And then get this now. And then afterwards, we went to the Club 30 where Uncle Billy worked. It was in West Virginia. It was right over the line.
Just
It was like if you were going to the track. Okay, you could drive right by it. And we walked in. It was like there was a big bar and a bunch of booths. And, we had big steaks and everything. And then Uncle Billy showed us the back room, and it was like it was a casino.
And did they stay there and gamble more?
No,
Okay.
he wouldn't let us back. He just showed it to us. And
And-
that was
How old were you about that at that time?
12 maybe.
And did you always bet when you went to the track with Grandpa, or did you like go to the arcade or do like? I mean, there wasn't
Well,
a lot for kids to do, but
There wasn't many, or they may have had a pinball machine, but if I brought my own money, my father he would bet for me.
you had to bring your own money, even at 12 years old, 13,
Yeah, if I had it.
and you give him the $2 and tell him what horse, and he'd bet it for you.
Exactly.
He wouldn't give you $2 to bet on it for
He
him.
would win. He would give me something.
Okay. And were you happy being there either way?
Oh yeah, I loved it. Sure.
Did you remember another big win as a kid?
Well, actually, the next time we went with Uncle Guy, it was me and Little Billy. And we did the same thing, and the same thing happened.
He let you each pick a horse.
And the
for
Daily Double paid $200-300, and we wound up having steaks at the Club 30. But if we didn't win, we didn't go to Club 30.
And who was a better gambler, Uncle Guy or Grandpa? Was Uncle Guy like the real guy, a degenerate gambler, or was he?
Uncle Guy, my dad would read the form. Uncle Guy didn't. But they would win about equally. Uncle Guy would spend more money than my father. At least that's what my father would tell me.
Well, he didn't have a family. Your father had a family.
But that's not always true either. And Uncle Guy, it was funny. I don't know if what do you know about baseball?
She never rode with us.
Uncle Guy would, one of his buddies in Waterford
Yeah.
was Pie Traynor, who was a Hall of Fame third baseman for the Pirates in like the 30s.
Joey, your foot's in the frame. Can you put?
And Pie Traynor, he also had that commercial for the heating that was on. It was I don't know, some kind of heating company, and it was on Studio Wrestling, which I used to love to watch. So I used to see Pie Traynor all the time. And there was this little section way at the end of the apron level where they had the metal seats. You may remember that, I don't know. And him and Pie Traynor would sit down there and smoke cigars and talk for hours. And I sometimes I'd sit behind them and listen to them. And then, it wasn't all baseball.
Sure. And is Grandpa the one that taught you how to read the forms?
Yes.
And then what Guy start coming with you when he got old enough?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
By that time, I was old enough. By the time Guy was old enough.
Yeah. You were already gone?
Yeah. You figure when Guy's 12, I'm 23.
Well, it's not like the tradition of going to the track stopped, though. I mean, you were going your
Guy
whole
went-
life.
Guy went with my father. I went by myself. Or
Ah.
with my friends.
Got it.
Okay, I had some buddies in the fraternity who used to like to go once in a while. George Ogle. Loved betting horses.
Did Grandpa like his job
The last job he had, yes.
at Kaufman?
Yes, because he basically sat in the office like Uncle Kent does.
Did he work in the office to
Yeah,
Coffins? Yeah.
yeah. Dad, he worked for
John Marino.
yeah, that was the Kaufmans. And he had a job at Advertisers Associates out in the Strip, in a shipping department or something. They were an advertising company, and they produced a lot of paper. They had like a 6-8 story building.
Yeah.
And glossy stuff that people would send out, especially then, and And Daddy's job was to keep track of their inventory. He didn't really like that job. And he
Okay.
drove cab part-time. He parked cars, it seemed like, in a million places. Before Kaufman's.
Where did you grow up? Where'd you live for the most part?
Dorm ones. Pinehurst.
Why not have them talk about every house?
Go ahead.
Or not? You're doing the interview.
You.
First house I remember, Celeste, is the apartment on Congress Street off the strip down in Soho, near where Consolidated, where the new arena is.
Consol
right down
Energy.
there. You'll see the street if you go down there.
That's the Hill District? Is that? Was he-
Soho, Lower Hill,
Where I lived.
exactly. Across-
Duquesne.
Yeah.
on the other side of Fifth Avenue.
Mercy Hospital.
And then you moved to
Congress
Dormont.
Street, that's where the ice came from.
Ice.
And then you went to Dormont.
Then we went to Dormont, yes. We went over to Eastmont.
Wait, where was Congress Street?
You know where
In
the
Soho.
Epiphany Church is?
Okay.
Oh no, then we went to the Terrace Village.
Oh yeah, for a couple of years, yeah.
That's the Hill District.
Is that
Up
a
on the hill.
apartment too?
Yeah, that was an
Nice.
apartment.
The doctor said to me,
Then a courtyard, I remember a
they
courtyard.
have dry heat. He said that'll be good for your son, because he couldn't breathe. So Moses,
That was probably her suffocating you.
Moses' uncle,
Yes.
Yeah.
Moses' uncle, he got us in.
For the
Mark
dry
Moses.
heat.
Well, yeah.
All right. What house were you when you were like 5 years old? First grade and
Yeah,
on.
first grade. Yeah, first grade was at Kelton. We lived on Eastmont, bought the house on Eastmont.
And when did you move to Pinehurst? How old were you then?
Well, no, from
So you're
Kelton,
missing houses.
You're missing houses.
I mean, from Eastmont, we went to Waltham. The dead end part, the last street in Dormont. You know where Waltham is.
Yes.
And okay, and then from Waltham, we went to the
Lena's place,
Latonia, where we lived in a house that had a coal furnace. And my father was teaching me how to bank the coal so we wouldn't freeze. When you get up in the morning, he says, shovel it this way.
Teenage overall, and there's about 4 or
Okay.
5 months.
And one day, it's less 90. It was 90, like 5 in the house. I'm wearing just shorts. Okay. All right.
It's in the spring.
Well, you were doing a good job.
At this house in Latonia, I'm wearing just shorts. Windows, doors, everything's open. It's snowing outside. The snow's blowing in the house. It's 90 degrees in the
We
house.
lived out of there. when
Okay, 90
in the
degrees in the
spring.
house, and the snow is blowing in, and we're standing there trying to get hit with it.
You were doing a good job.
Yeah, it was a hell of a house.
Kept it warm.
Well, the guy wanted to sell it to me for
It was a hell of a house.
$6,000.
And I want to tell you what. You want to talk about a cellar that looked like a dungeon?
And so what? The next house you moved into had forced heating?
Huh?
The next house you moved into had forced heating? No more coal cellar?
That was Pinehurst after Latonia.
Yeah.
You know the
That was
Pinehurst
the last-
house.
But it didn't have a coal cellar. I mean, they all had coal cellars at one time, right?
Well, that was the only house I lived in that had a coal cellar.
Okay.
A coal furnace.
Coal furnace.
Okay?
I thought that was more common then. No, you just,
No.
that was just an old house.
And they were the only house that I ever saw or knew about that had a coal furnace that actually worked. It was terrible.
This question says, when you stepped inside your house, what did it smell like? Food cooking, your mother's perfume?
No, not my mother's perfume. It felt, you know, you always smell oil. Grease.
I mean, I can smell when I get off the elevator. It's usually you guys something's
What do you
cooking.
smell? Oil?
Well, it depends on what you're cooking.
Yeah, well, that's what I smelled.
Hey, there's other people here.
But it's mostly you guys.
I don't know, the woman across from
They don't cook over here, man. You wouldn't smell it over here anyway.
and there's another family at the end.
And we moved on Pinehurst. I think I was in what, 3rd grade, 4th grade.
Cookie wasn't in school yet. Well, that year, I didn't send her to kindergarten because I didn't feel like getting up.
Fourth grade,
So-
third or fourth grade, we moved there.
Who was your best friend growing up? Did you have one best friend?
Well, Pascal mostly. Before, they were neighborhood kids.
Boy, you knew Bobby.
Ricky and Around and Bobby Rodriguez, the
Bobby
Niederberger
Mangle.
boys,
I know those guys.
Did you and Pascal, were you friends because of school or because you lived
George Lyon.
on the same street or because of her and his mom?
because of school. So I met him at school.
So did you meet,
Well, I met Pascal, I'll tell you what, I met Pascal playing Little League.
okay, so you met
I was about 8.
his mother
Well,
because
they
of,
were
he was, the
both-
kids were friends.
Well, when we got older, we were out a lot.
No, you know how I met her? Pascal and him, they were both in the church. What was it?
Altar boys.
Altar boys.
We were altar boys
So she
too.
called me at 7 in the morning. She says, this is Palmetto, because she didn't know me. I didn't know her either. I can't wake my son up. It's too cold out there.
I may have
What do you
trained.
want me to-
I may have trained Pascal
And I says
as
to
an altar
her,
boy.
no, I'm not waking mine either. I'm never rise in the basement.
well, how'd you become friends if you didn't like her from the get-go?
Then she said, I'm going to confession. She said, Saturday, maybe I'll see you there at confession. So I said to myself, I haven't been to confession for so long. I said, I'll meet you at St. Margaret's. And I got to meet this little, well, she was as big as me, I think, you know.
So you went to confession that day just to
Yeah,
meet
well, I
her?
went to confession. She went to confession, but I don't know.
Lucky you didn't get
I said, "Are you
struck
gonna go-
down."
Are you going to go to church tomorrow? Well, if I get up early enough, she could sleep, boy. Whew.
Yeah, she did sleep.
Oh, couch, she came over my house, bingo, she was sleeping on my couch.
Pascal, and he was an altar boy, I was an altar boy. He played Little
Yeah.
League, I played Little League. He went to the dances, I went to the
Bobby
dances.
Rodriguez was your buddy.
So they lived in Dormont. Did he live close enough to walk that you guys could walk and hook
Yeah,
up
he lived
and
on
play?
Texas, about 3 or 4 blocks.
Okay.
Well, and locally, it was probably Bobby Rodriguez. I don't know. They wanted me. They were friends with their family, so
Yeah.
they expected me to be friends with him. He was okay. I like Ricky Nerone way better,
Yeah, I
and he
did
lived
too.
3 doors down
I did
Celeste.
too.
And did Pascal go to college with you?
No,
Did he stay here? Was he-
no, he went to Salem. His first college was Salem.
Oh, so he went to college, just not Pitt.
Salem, West Virginia, and it was the most ridiculous college I've ever seen in my life. He was there a year, and then he went to Miami, Ohio U.
Did you guys stay friends the whole
I
time?
went to Temples.
Yes, no, he didn't go to
Wait, did he go to high school with you?
Yeah, all those guys did.
Okay.
And you know, he didn't have a father to pray.
All those guys did.
His father died in his 40s of a
Uh,
heart attack.
Ricky Nerone, Bobby Rodriguez, they were older than me, those two. Pascal was a year younger.
Nicky Costa. No, he didn't.
Costas didn't, he went, no.
And when did you have your first beer? When did you have your first alcohol? Were you in high school?
Yes. I had a 6-pack of Mustang malt liquor in Pascal's basement.
Did it make you sick?
Yes. Terribly sick.
I was gonna say for your first time with malt liquor. Oh.
Malt liquor.
Yeah, no.
I drank almost a 6-pack. And I puked everywhere. And I wasn't the only one.
If you could spend an afternoon with one of your childhood friends today, who would it be and why?
One of my childhood friends? I haven't seen Ricky Nerone in so long. Of course, I'd love to see Pascal, but just because I haven't seen Ricky in so long, I'd love to see what he was doing.
I wonder if he's still
He's
living.
not even in Pennsylvania. Was he in Georgia or something?
Georgia.
Could probably find him on Facebook, maybe. Maybe.
I don't do Facebook.
Well, we could help you look. Did you have a favorite food as a kid?
That's- nothing that stood out. I liked pizza.
Did you not like any food as a kid? Were you a
Oh yeah, it was
pickier
fun.
eater
I
then?
wasn't as picky. Believe me, okay, I wasn't as picky. When I was young, though, I didn't eat onions. Okay, I didn't eat raw tomatoes for sure. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Some of the things she served us, fish sticks, I used to hate. Pork chops. Oh my God.
Before the war.
All right.
So
You were normal. You were a normal kid.
It wasn't food. Okay. Maybe it started out as food. All right, but it ended up as leather.
Oh, because they were so tough. So it wasn't that you didn't like pork chops. You just didn't like the way they were prepared. You probably would have eaten them if they were juicy and tender.
Well, yeah. So it's a piece of leather with Louisiana hot sauce
You ate it.
all over, completely.
Do you eat it?
Grandpa liked leather. We know that. And just liked to
You
stick
still
leather.
ate it, right, Grandma?
Did your parents ever make you sit at the table until you ate everything on your plate?
And eat.
All the time.
Who? Grandma?
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. He used to bring.
I can't even imagine.
My father used to bring a lot of lunch meat.
And the things she was putting on your plate, God help you.
Yeah, exactly.
What was your biggest thrill as a kid?
My biggest thrill. Wow. I was a teenager when we won that baseball championship.
You were on a team?
Yeah. Yeah, but that was Pony League, you know. When the Pirates won the World Series, I was 11. I thought that was pretty cool.
Did you ever sneak out and do things
Did I
you
ever
weren't supposed to be doing, like behind your
sneak out
parents'
and do
back?
something I wasn't supposed to be doing? Ask her.
She's not gonna.
You went away with some girl in a German. And he fell off the horse and.
Oh, I've heard the horse story.
He
Yeah.
was such a mess. What the hell happened? He fell
So
off
I used to sneak out all the time, okay?
Wait.
Walk home, the door would open, and shoes would come flying at me.
Tell the story.
Right?
Tell
That's
the
why I don't
story.
know how you got away with it. She's so crazy.
Oh my
Why-
God.
Tell,
Easy to-
tell the story for the
Your
camera about
father-
the horse sneaking out.
You would've-
I was no sneaking out.
What? All right, we'll tell that story.
I was in
anyway.
Erie with some girl,
Who was
okay?
the girl?
Her name was Kathy something. I can't remember her last
They were
name.
Germans. I think
She had
they
a
were
German
Jewish.
name. Yes, they
How-
were German.
how-
Grandma's all about the German.
They were German.
How did you know her?
I met her through the singer piano player at the living room. I worked in the living room as a busboy a lot for Uncle Billy, who was the waiter, all right? And what the hell was his name? Joe. It was like Joe Goldschmidt or something, okay? And Joe was gay, but he was married to one of the hostesses at the living room. And he was a big talker, and I used to talk to him, and he used to talk to me. And then one summer, he had a niece come and stay with him in Pittsburgh. He brought her up to the restaurant, and we hit it off. You know, and then she wanted me to go up. She lived in, we're close to Erie. They called it Conneaut, Pennsylvania. It was the middle of nowhere, this place. You know what I mean? It was one road,
Was this her?
no lights,
Her
general
horse?
store. Yeah, it was like a giant farmhouse where she lived with her parents, I think aunts and uncles, grandmas, and 5 or 6 siblings.
And a couple horses.
Yes, they took care of horses. It was a giant place. It was like a 2-lane highway like this, okay? And then there's a big giant farmhouse right off the road. And then they had all this property back here. And then they owned the property across the street too. And that's where they used to keep the horses.
So were you just up there for the day, or were you up there for a weekend?
No, shit. That was up there for a week.
And had you ridden the horses before?
Never.
No.
I mean, you were up there for a week. This was the first time you were getting on the horses?
No, it wasn't. It was not the first time I got on a horse.
Okay, so you had
It
ridden
was the second or third time. Yeah, she used to like to go horseback riding.
And because you liked to watch horses race, did you have any interest in riding it? Did
Well, at that age, I wouldn't mind learning how to ride a horse better.
okay.
I didn't mind it. She liked it, and then, it wasn't hard.
And then what happened?
Well,
The horse room.
she was on this horse. It was an Arabian, and they're pretty high strung. And I had the big old quarter horse, who, he was calmer, okay? So we're walking along this road. It's like a gravel road in the middle of nothing, fields. And she says, "Let's run him," and she takes off with that Arabian. And all of a sudden, my horse wakes up when he sees the other horse
Running.
running. Okay,
Took off.
and he took off, and he slipped on the gravel, went down to his knees, and I went over the top. And I landed on my face
In the gravel.
in the gravel, exactly.
I mean, you could have been hurt much worse.
And
Yeah.
the whole side of my face was a scab. Okay, and when I came home, she went bananas.
So were you still living here? Or was it like a summer in between college?
It was actually between my senior year of high school and my first year of college.
Ah,
Wait, how'd you?
And I was working down. I had a job at. I was still working at Locanti's as a busboy, and when they saw me when I came back with this scab
they
face,
wouldn't let you work?
they wouldn't let me work on the floor.
You were gonna scare people?
So I had to wash dishes,
Dishes.
wash pots, and I actually Yenna, who was the like the spaghetti man.
Watch your feet.
Yenna actually took me back in the kitchen a few times. Just and I was eating spaghetti.
Did you ride the horse back to her house?
Yes, I got right back on him, and I kicked him.
Did you ride a horse after that?
Maybe once or twice with your mother, but up there, no.
You rode back with a bloody face?
I had no choice.
Where was she? Did she
Right
come,
next. She
did
was
she
right
come
next to me.
back? and
Yeah,
ride
she
back
came.
with you?
Yeah, she
Okay.
rode back.
What was the most trouble you ever got into as a kid? Is that it?
Well, do I have to tell that?
Well, you don't have to tell us the worst. So you can tell us one or
No,
none.
I went to juvenile court for overnight for breaking into Nick's pool hall.
Wait, where did you spend the night? In a courthouse or in a jail cell?
It wasn't a jail cell, but it was juvenile.
Like a holding.
Yeah, well, I guess it was, a juvenile court. It was, for bad juveniles.
Was your buddy with you?
There were two of them with me.
Tell us the story of breaking into the pool.
Joey's not gonna let you off the hook.
I've heard this before.
I used to go to Nick's pool hall all the time, okay? Almost every day. I loved going there. I loved playing pool at that time. We were in high school.
Where was it, in Dormont?
Yeah.
On West Liberty Avenue.
Yeah, where that, that restaurant that is upstairs sometimes? Katana?
Yeah.
Well, if you go in that door and you go all the way back, that's where it was. Okay, he had 5 or 6 pool tables back there, and Nick was a haberdasher. He cleaned hats. And I was friends with this crazy kid from high school, Bob Garrity, who lived over on Latonia, where Aunt Lena
You're
lives.
shaking it. The camera's there. You're shaking it.
And Garrity had this friend, Kevin Burke. Kevin lived on Wayne Bell. I mean, I knew Kevin. And, I don't know, him and Kevin came up with the idea, let's break into Nick's. And they knew that I knew Nick's. And they said, we're going to go in and we're going to, just break, just play pool. I said, okay, fine. So they I left a window open in the bathroom, and Kevin somehow came up with this big, long ladder. And we climbed in, you know, at night after hours, played pool for about 2 or 3 hours. And right before we left, Kevin vandalized the place a little bit and busted the cash register and stole the money. And we took the money and we walked up to Mount Lebanon, and there was a like an all-night diner right past your Pompanay there, or maybe that Greek joint is there. But we were in there eating dinner. We're in there eating breakfast. The 2 Dormont cops come in and they questioned us and questioned us and questioned us, and they let us go. About a month later, I get picked up. They came to the house. Dormont cops came to the house and took me in. And what happened was Kevin broke into a house. They caught him, and he gave away everything.
Because Kevin was bad news.
Yeah, bad news.
Yeah, right, he was the wrong guy to be with, okay?
And so then they arrested you and they take you somewhere and then you have to spend the night until you get your hearing?
Yeah.
And then what did you get as a result of, did you get?
I had to pay back the money. My third.
And
That's it. Nick didn't press any charges.
Did you continue to play pool there?
Not nearly as often.
Aw. Did you get any trouble with grandma or grandpa? Like they ground you? Were you ever grounded? What happened?
Grounded? No. I was never grounded.
What
My
they
parents,
beat
my
you?
parents, yeah.
So did you get beat after that?
No, not that. Most beatings were your grandmother with shoes.
Did it hurt? I mean,
Sometimes. You know, some frame was good.
did grandpa ever hit you?
After I was about 10 or 12, no.
Would they yell at you?
Oh my God, you kidding?
How could you not be grounded? What was that? That was
It never
Nobody
came
heard
up
of
to
that?
us. They never said, no.
You invented grounding for me? I mean, how's that?
No,
I don't
know.
understand.
The media invented grounding, and your mother used it.
Oh, jeez.
Sounds about right.
That's how that shit happens.
Well, hey, so imagine now, when I went to school, okay,
I'd
when I
rather
went
just
to
gotten
school-
hit and gotten it over
When I went
with.
to school,
I was grounded for long times.
nuns would beat you, okay? Even lay teachers, men.
Hey, that's better than
Football
detention or
coaches.
suspension. Just get it over with.
Well, yeah, but
As
nowadays
long as you don't do any permanent
you
damage.
can't even touch a student nowadays.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Okay, it was a different time. Nobody cared if you beat your kid.
No,